Tic Tac Toe win checker. So this is a challenge for verifying if a given tic tac toe board contains a win in it, whether it is a win for crosses or noughts. The hook with this particular one is to implement the solution via a regex, which is pretty cool. I've always been a fan of regex, so this took my fancy. So you've got a board provided as a string, such as this, and each group of three characters indicates a sequential list of the rows. So that would represent this board here. So this would need to return true because here we have 3 in a row. So yeah, a few kind of edge cases here that I've read through. You can read through those at your leisure. So let's give this a little whirl then. So when I was initially thinking about this challenge, I suppose the thing that came to mind was that there are 8 possible ways that there can be a win. 3 columns, 3 rows, and 2 diagonals. So whether they happen to be a nought or a cross doesn't really matter because we're just returning true if there is a win. So I was thinking that you can use regular expression back references in order to refer back to the first thing that you matched, whether it was a nought or a cross, and then assert for the various patterns that are possible in the string. So for example, if you have a string like this where you have, I don't know, naught, x naught, naught, well, let's think xx, and then naught, naught x, let's just say, the grouping is as follows. So we've got a win down this left-hand side. So a regular expression that would match this would have to match the first position, the 4th position, and the 7th position, and assert that each of those locations, well, the 4th and the 7th, match the position of the first character. So I think we can just dive straight into it. I'll leave that there to use as a reference point for later, just if I need to. So let's imagine we're matching along this horizontal row then. So we'll create a variable for our regex. And well, in that situation, we're going to start with the beginning of the string. And then we're going to match either a naught or a cross. Now, let's think about this. I'm going to capture that with a character group. Either a 0, a naught, or a cross. And the reason I'm doing that is so that we can refer back to that capturing group later. And we can do it right away, actually, with /1 and /1. So this means we're going to match either a naught or a cross within this capturing group. And then whatever we captured here, whether it was naught or a cross, we're going to match the same character or the contents of that match again. And then again, oops, there. So that should match 0, 0, 0, if that was a 0, of course. So yeah, that is the first scenario covered, I think. So let's move on to the next horizontal scenario. Now in this situation, what are we going to have? Let's see. So we'd have the start of the string. We would then have, well, actually, thinking about this, What I was going to do is have say ... to match any character, and then just start our matching at this position. But there is a simpler way of doing this. I think for the time being, I'm going to write it longhand, and then I'll show this the shorter hand way of doing it. So we've got ... so that matches this. Assume that isn't a match, let's say, because this character, this back reference will not refer to this. Point of detail. The capturing groups, even though we're using this OR operator, do have to be numbered sequentially in the regular expressions. So even though this is technically the first matching group in this section, it's the second overall, so you have to use 2 here. So yeah, if this was, say, X, it would match this X here, and then these back references would refer back to this X. So we'd have any character, any character, any character matched by these 3 dots, and then this would then match the second row. Now, the observant of you will notice that this is essentially exactly the same as this, except for the numbering of the back reference. And the only thing that is different is the fact that we have these dots. So why not merge that, just make that optional here, which we can do. In fact, we can do this and assert that it matches 3. Now then, I've got a feeling there's going to be a better way of doing this. Here we need a specific number of matches. So it needs to be either 0 matches. Here we go. We can do this. Create a capturing group here to update these to refer to this capturing group, and do either this. Sorry, again, we could do either 0 to 2 matches of this previous character capturing group. So if it matches 0, then we're starting here. If it matches 1, then it's going to match here. And if it matches this twice, then we're going to be starting here. So that actually covers all of our horizontal scenarios. Therefore, I believe this is good. Now we can try vertical. What are we going to do with the vertical ones then? Well, if we're matching this position, let's just do that first then. Again, it's going to be this idea of having a capturing group. And then we're going to have ... because it doesn't matter what these are, followed by the back reference, ... and then the same back reference again. So that would be this, ... this, ... this, and then we're not actually matching anything. So if that was a 0, or a 0 rather, this would then match. And this is true regardless of whether we started here, here, or here. So in a similar manner to how we've done this here, we can say we're going to match it kind of like an offset, either 0, 1, or 2 dots to kind of shunt this over and match the pattern vertically, just offset by 1 or 2. So that covers the vertical scenarios. So now we can do the diagonals. And you know what? I think I'm just going to write these out longhand. We're either going to have, again, we're going to match something here, followed by dot, dot, dot. So 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, and then the back reference, and another 3 dots, and then the same back reference, because it's again 1, 2, 3, and then we're matching the same thing again. So it's going to be either that, or it's going to be dot dot to match these, and then the target character followed by a single dot, yeah, followed by the same character followed by a single dot again. And I believe with that we've probably covered all the scenarios. So what we can hopefully do is return horizontal dot test board, or vertical diagonal, and let's shrink that down and give it a test. Okay, got some failures. Interesting. Expected true to equal false. Okay, so why has that matched when it shouldn't have? Oh, I know what's happened. Yeah, I've fallen into my own trap that I mentioned. This is supposed to be 2. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, let's do an attempt then. And it passes. Great. So let's just clean this up a little bit. And do you know what? I'm happy with it as it is. So I'm going to go with that. Attempt. Submit. Oh, if you have any requests, please submit them in the comments below.